everyone, welcome back to Eat the Cake Anime, the podcast show where we review animes, cartoons, other shows from our unique, mature perspective. I'm your host, Jay Renee.
And I'm her co-host, Ron.
Hey Ron, how are you?
I'm back. I'm ready. Let's rock and roll.
All right, so we're going to jump right into today's review, and we're talking about an anime that was weird to me, but I know you loved it.
It was good.
Oh yeah, that remains to be seen.
Look,
Okay.
It was just weird in a good way.
Okay, weird in a good way. Okay, so what we're talking about today, y'all, is The Way of the Househusband. In Japanese, it translates Extreme Way of the Househusband. And this anime, if you've seen it before, then you're already guessing where I'm going to go. I was so excited for it when I first heard about it, but The Way of the Househusband was totally not what I was expecting.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, from the previews and everything that it was showing versus seeing the actual episodes, I was like, what in the...
Exactly. So a little background about The Way of the Househusband. It is still an ongoing manga. Started out as a manga, written and illustrated by Kosuke Ono, and it's still going, as I said, to this day. Started in 2018. The genre is considered slice of life and comedy, but they also put action in it because of the premise. And The Way of the Househusband actually started out as an ONA. When it went from manga, instead of going from manga to TV, it went from manga to ONA. And for those who aren't familiar, ONA is original net animation, or something straight to internet, web anime, webtoon, those are the titles or words for it. And it's similar to what used to be known as the OVA.
Yeah.
All right. And the OVA, the difference is what?
Just difference between being on the net and being on a VHS cassette or a DVD.
Yeah, so the platforms have changed over the years. OVAs were straight to video. ONAs are straight to the web, or, webtoons and things like that are actually very, very popular. So it starts out, the premise is very, and see, this is why I'm so upset, because I was so excited, because you're talking about Tatsu. He was like, okay, so his name was the Immortal Dragon. Tatsu, aka the Immortal Dragon, Yakuza boss, or Japanese mob, Japanese mafia. And he had this great reputation, this startling reputation, striking fear into the hearts of his people, this and that. But then he retired from the Yakuza. And leaving the gang life, he decided to support his wife, Miku. So it's like, okay, I'm retiring. You're the career woman. I'm going to take care of house and home, so you won't have to worry about anything. So we follow him through his everyday chores and errands. And it was funny, because what makes it funny is that he's coming across people from his old life.
And what I liked about it is Tatsu has, quote unquote, left the Yakuza life, but the Yakuza life hasn't left him, where he's trying to, quote unquote, walk the straight and narrow, do whatever it takes to support his wife, be the right husband and everything else along those lines. But that reputation, that mentality, it just keeps following him. You can't let it go. Yeah, and
it's very funny, because you're putting that attitude into regular, ordinary chores, cooking, grocery shopping, meeting with, the other housewives, in the area and things like that. So that's also well and good. But for me, everyone, I'm letting you know now, I was so disappointed. I was so let down, because I'm like, oh, we're getting an ex-Yakuza member who's doing the daily stuff. Let's see how he handles it. And of course, by it being an ONA, the episodes are always like a few minutes. So it's like a few minutes shorter than your traditional anime show.
Yeah, it's
So
basically cut in half.
yeah, so it's cut in half, even more so than that, and it's just like these little snippets. So one of the reasons I can tell you guys I was not a fan of Way of the Househusband is because of just that. It wasn't. It was very comedy, very haha, and I thought it was going to be a little more serious, but it was just very, let's just show his ordinary life, him going out, to buy soba,
Yeah, and that's what threw me off in the beginning, because I was expecting something a little bit more street level, or if that even makes sense.
Or maybe even shonen, maybe even more like action-y or something like that.
But it was so absurd, like for the first couple of episodes, it really, really threw me off. And then I said, okay, let me look at it from a different perspective. And just to see his reactions to simply going to the store and buying groceries, where he's got to have coupons, and just the way the cashier and everybody else is treating him, and how he has to like speak with a certain authority, and his mentality based on everything that he was raised with in the Yakuza and everything.
Yeah.
That's what made it for me just like,
all
right.
Yeah, it feels just weird. Like, and I have the opposite reaction, because I said, you know what, maybe I need to go back and read the manga, because the manga's still going on. You currently have 14 volumes. So I was going to do that, and then I said, nope, I'm not going to do it. I looked everything up. Y'all, there's a live action television series that came out in 2020, and it was called Ingenious. I think it was called like The Ingenious Way of the Househusband. And I said, I wonder if it's the same thing. But then when I found it, I saw the little cartoon. I said, it's the exact same thing. So let me check out and see if the live series was going to be any different. Y'all, that series came out in 2020, the live action series. Manga in 2018, live action series in 2020, before the anime came out in 2021. That live action series, 4-minute episodes, 3-minute episodes.
Now, I'll be honest, I have not checked out the live action yet, only because, let's be real, a lot of times the live action they're never as good as the anime.
Okay, so in this case, for me, it's the exact opposite. The live version was actually more enjoyable than the little stop motion comic-y, whatever, even the animation. Y'all, it didn't move as fluidly as I was expecting it to. And I kept sitting up there. Remember, I kept saying, what is this? What are they doing? And you just like, oh, let's just watch it. And I'm just like, this is not what I expected. Why are you looking like that? Y'all, he's looking at me a certain way. We're going to video pretty soon. So, yeah, you're going to be able to see these looks. So, yeah, why are you looking like that?
Look, I accepted it for what it was. And once I accepted it for what it was, and don't get me wrong, it did not meet my expectations.
But what is it? You said you accepted it for what it was. Okay, so what exactly was it? It wasn't your traditional anime premise. And then we do know that when it premiered in different countries, for example, like in China, all the tattoos were removed because of course, censorship. Yeah. This is, you have to be sensitive to these different things, but a lot of people loved it. So I'm like, okay, y'all, exactly what is it? Because the Way of the Househusband, when it finally premiered with the anime, it was good, and it even had a second season. I'm still trying to figure out how in the world did it have a second season?
I mean, it's like, imagine you're no longer in that life. No, thug life no longer exists for you, but you still have all that ingrained in you. And then every aspect of your life, you're still putting it forward. And then, like, for example, he goes to meet up with a gardening club full of old ladies. These old ladies are gangster. And in
their own way, yes.
And just the absurdity of it, where, you're no longer, quote unquote, the immortal dragon, the boss of bosses, the most feared Yakuza member to ever exist. But you're meeting these different people where they're not in the Yakuza life, they're not in the mafia life, but they run the streets in their own way. Right. And that's what makes it so funny.
Okay, so I will give it to you. The Way of the Househusband is very unique. It's very unique. Y'all, I mean, the manga is still going. I'm still like, how is it still going off of such a simple premise? And not only that, there was a live action film that was made. A motion picture film was made in June of 2022. Now, I haven't seen it.
I think it might be one of those things where it's like my perspective or a guy's perspective versus your perspective. Like some stuff I really like, some stuff I can't stand, and it's vice versa.
Well, like I said, the comedy, slice of life, action, you know, the genre, the different amalgamations to come together to form The Way of the Househusband, it was, to me, very surprising, very unusual, not traditional in the ways of, you know, how we look at Japanese anime, how we look at Chinese anime, even how we look at, you know, Western anime. So I just think it's, I don't know how the rating system. Oh, and another thing, y'all, one of the issues was, I think for me, is that when we first started watching it, I decided to take a page out of producer Ron's book and watch it in dub, the voiceovers. Don't do it. It has a
very good voice
cast. Don't do it.
It has a good voice cast.
Don't do it. Don't do it. If you're gonna do it, or if you're gonna watch it in sub. Because I watched it in dub and it ruined the experience. Yes, I can say it. I can say it for all and sundry. It ruined the experience for me. Because it's not, you know, like I said, it's not what I was expecting. And then it was almost kind of slapstick, but the stop motion, not stop motion, but it was a motion kind of animation. Now,
it pauses a lot.
Yeah, a lot of the pauses. Now, like I said, the overall animation, you know, the artistry was very good. It was very good. I'm not taking anything away from that, but just the way it was packaged and presented, I went back and looked at all the promo videos that are on the internet. I went back and just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And I'm like, is this a good anime that you can tell people, hey, watch it? This is one of the reasons why you love anime. I can't do that. But what I can say is it may appeal to your quirky side. Yeah, it may niche. Yeah, it may appeal to those of you all who have humor that's skewed a little more than the average person.
Off kilter.
So yes, very much so. Really off kilter. So you may find it to your liking, but for me, I'll say like out of 10, are we going to do the rating scale today? All right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, naturally, I will get, let's see, 3, 2, 1, 4.
Wow.
What are you hollering wow for? We're supposed to say it at the same time. Why did you say anything?
Because I wanted to hear your perspective on it.
You know what? Okay.
Now see.
4.
See here. Okay, now here's where I go. If you're not ready for it, I agree with exactly what she says. Because the first couple of episodes, I was rating it like in the garbage tier. But once I saw it for what it was, and I understood a little bit more the premise, and I looked at it from that perspective, I realistically give it a 7.
Well, okay, a 7. You keep saying you saw it for what it was. Tell everybody what you think it is.
It's an off-kilter perspective of a Yakuza boss who retires, who can't let the street go, and his past sticks with him, and even the world still knows him as the immortal dragon. So even when he does, quote unquote, go on the straight and narrow, he's still looked at and spoken to and perceived in a certain way. He still has underlings who, even though he's not Yakuza anymore, still want to support him. The cops still look at him and think he's up to no good. Even other Yakuzas that he's not a part of still see him a certain way. But the man is realistically on the straight and narrow. And it's just hilarious for me because the dude, it's good.
Okay. All right. That's great. If that's what you like, that's what you like. We always talk about at Eat the Cake Anime. We present these things so you can decide what moves you. And I will tell you all, The Way of the Househusband officially did not move Jay Renee. The 3-episode rule was, of course, in effect. Y'all, I kept hoping it was going to get better. I even turned this one into a 6-episode rule because the episodes are like that. They are so boom, 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 bam, really, really quick. And it does, I will say, it does make you want more to see what's going to happen. But I was doing it in the hopes that it would get away from the comedy and more towards the action. And it just didn't do that, for me. But it's still in publication. The manga is still going. The movie got great reviews. The live series, 10 episodes, like 3 or 4 minutes a piece, 5 minutes, it got good reviews. The anime, we're talking about it now. So there's a formula there that was untapped, that they managed to pique the interest of like everyone, because The Way of the Househusband has that staying power. For all of its quirkiness, for all the weirdness, it does have a lot of staying power.
Yeah, and I think that some of the audience abroad, they see it the same way I see it. They see the quirkiness of it.
Okay. All right, so there you have it. That is our review of The Way of the Househusband / Extreme Way of the Househusband / Ingenuity, or The Ingenious Way of the Househusband. They're all available everywhere where you find your animes. A lot of people, they've been asking us, can you review more of the stuff that's on Netflix? And I think that's what we've been doing. So The Way of the Househusband is one that particularly stuck out to us in its unusual way of being presented, but still manages to reach the audience. It's different. I like it because it's different. I like it because of the artistry, but everything else after 6 episodes, and I watched both seasons like a nut, but I watched both seasons. It had me for 2 whole seasons.
And that's the great thing about anime. Some stuff we're going to love together, and some stuff we're going to agree to disagree.
Yeah, we're agreeing to disagree on this one. All right, so thanks everyone for joining us, and we will get at you next time. But until then, do not forget, at Eat the Cake Anime, we want you to know it is okay to enjoy anime.